Pirates awakened Conqueror at the beginning. Chapter 241 to 260. Chapter 241 Bullet Intention _ Hunter Guild Headquarters. Second leader of the Revolutionary Army Sabo. Bullet listened to what Rayleigh had to say and became interested in this rising star. Baizi asked Sabo to be the second leader of the Revolutionary Army. It seems that he has no interest in the Revolutionary Army, but is just a shelter. Whitebeard looked in the direction of the Revolutionary Army headquarters, his eyes gleaming with brilliance. That's right, but Lin Zan is a member of my Hunters Guild, and he ranks one place higher than me. If the Revolutionary Army is in danger, I can't stay out of it. Pluto Rayleigh glanced at Bullet, although Aizen suppressed Bullet with force, but that only limited to Aizen. Now that Aizen has left the Hunter Guild, if Bullet does something out of the ordinary, no one can stop him. Hee, don't worry Rayleigh, I'm not interested in that kid. Bullet saw Rayleigh's worried look and grinned at Isho, and glanced in the direction of Fishman Island. I want to go to Fishman Island. Fishman Island, what are you doing? I warn you not to mess around. When Rayleigh heard Barrett's words, his face was solemn, and he obviously had some guesses about what Barrett was going to do. Come on, no. I'm a little interested in what you guys said about the 4 emperors by Z so powerful. I do and know how much better he is than that kid Shanks. Bullet's fighting spirit soared, and the corners of Pluto Rayleigh and Whitebeard's mouth twitched. Sure enough, this guy, the explosive fighting factor broke out again. How long has it been quiet? I don't know if it is a blessing or a curse for President Aizen to include this guy in the Hunter Guild. Okay, you can decide what to do with the Revolutionary Army. I am not interested anyway. If there is a strong enemy that can't be dealt with, let me know, I'll go to Fishman Island to meet that. After Baizi said, Bullet just stepped on his feet. Walked out of the Hunter Guild. Hades Rayleigh wanted to say something, but in the end he didn't say anything and let Bullet leave. Hey, this guy, I hope it doesn't make a big deal out of it. Whitebeard shook his head weakly and bitterly. He wanted to stop, but he was powerless. Even if he and Rayleigh were out together, he might not be able to get the guy at the basket. Big deal. Pluto Rayleigh looked in Bar's direction meaningfully. I think Bullet will definitely be hanged again this time, so Baizi is not easy. Saving Garp under the action of that mysterious man, and even fighting him head-on, but based on this, I'm afraid that the strength is so strong. Least a Bullet level. Perhaps among the 4 emperors, Baizi should be the first. Whitebeard's achievements against Baizi have to be said that even he can't do it. Whitebeard, who do you think the mysterious person who can kill dragons is? Pluto Rayleigh thought of the question that had troubled him for a long time, and asked Whitebeard beside him. I don't know who he is, but from the point of view of the beneficiaries of his dragon slaying, the biggest enemy of the Revolutionary Army is not the 4 emperors, not Shichibukai, but Marine. To be precise, it should be the Tianlong people of Mariajoy. Possibly, the identity of the mysterious person is likely to be a master sent by the Tianlong people, or the mysterious person is a Tianlong person. Whitebeard also thought of this question more than once, and now that Rayleigh mentioned it, Beard expressed his thoughts. Yes, I think the same as you. Neither the 4th Emperor nor the King Shichibukai has any reason, nor the ability to kill the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Dragon, and it will not benefit them in the slightest. As for Marine, if there is such an existence, I am afraid that the whole world will not have the same pattern. The 4 emperors and Shichibukai appeared, so, the identity of that mysterious person is very likely, even more than 90%, from Mariajoy. Rayleigh, the Pluto, conducted further analysis with Whitebeard and his own thoughts, and came to an extremely terrifying conclusion. Mysterious person is from Mariajoy, and his strength is completely comparable to their Vice President Aizen, and the ghost knows a place like Mariajoy, whether such a mysterious person is 133 or 555, although now their Hunter Guild is very powerful. Weak and strong, but it is undeniable that at this moment the Hunter Guild poses a greater threat to the nobles of Mariajoy than the Revolutionary Army. You know, even the current leader of the Revolutionary Army, Baizi, is one of their people. In an eventful time, people can only pay close attention to the movements of Mariajoy and Marine, although Tsunade Admiral was also invited by President Aizen. After all, he is Marine's admiral and has to be guarded. Doran speak his own words, Whitebeard said solemnly. Well, what you said makes sense. Marine can get Tsunade to join, just because he wants to use our hands to kill his enemy. We just use each other's relationship, maybe in the next moment, we and Tsunade will become enemies. Pluto Rayleigh nodded solemnly and said, and after a while he told his subordinates to monitor Tsunade's every move. Chapter 242_won't be found. Hours later. Marine headquarters, an alley with few people. Tsunade Admiral. When a group of Marine headquarters soldiers on patrol once saw Tsunade, their backs straightened, and their loud voices adored them. Continue patrolling. Yes, Tsunade Admiral. Passed by with the pair of patrol Marines, and the afterglow of his eyes couldn't help but glance at another existence with decent strength who was following him. Under the observation hockey, Tsunade detected this aura, and it was somewhat familiar. It should be from the Hunter Guild, and it was also the personal subordinate of Rayleigh, the General Counselor of Hades. The corners of his mouth could not help curling up. Watching yourself, it seems that Rayleigh has fallen. Also shrewd. Ignored the people following behind him. After all, in a certain way, they were his own. As for his title of Marine Admiral, it was just to help Momoshiki launch a general attack on the Tianlong people in the near future. Hunter Guild, the more seeing the power of Lord Baizi, the more she suspected that it was likely that Aizen and Baizi had reached some kind of agreement in private. After all, judging from the strength they have shown so far, although the two have never fought, the difference in strength should be similar. Almost. Even had an intuition that when the Hunter Guild pulled the Tianlong people down from the altar in the future, it was likely to help them a lot. As soon as they dodged, Tsunade disappeared from the spot. The stalker of the Hunter Guild, Pluto Rayleigh's subordinate, came to the corner, saw the empty field, and had a bad feeling in his heart. He muttered to himself, with a solemn face, I won't be discovered. Well, but I can't, I hid myself very well, it should be Tsunade just to be on the safe side. It seems that Tsunade is not as simple as he thought. After thinking about it for a while, that Rayleigh's subordinate rushed over in one direction, but he did not realize it at all. Arrived, on a high-rise building not far from him, Tsunade looked at the silhouette of Ben Li who had gone away, and the corners of his mouth curved into an arc. Does Lei underestimate her by letting such a person monitor her? Involuntarily, his gaze fell in the direction of the prehistoric island Hunter Guild. Bullet went to Fishman Island. I really don't know where that guy got his confidence. After knowing that Lord Baizi can resist the mysterious man who killed the Revolutionary Army leader Long, he dares to go. It seems that Bullet has suffered a lot this time, but it's not. Once the devil fruit is awakened, he will be invincible in the world. There are not a few people in this world who can kill Bullet in seconds. Even though, the current Bullet's strength is infinitely close to the previous One Piece, King of Pirates Roger, but now is not. The original Roger era. Tsunade looked towards Fishman Island with interest, and in a flash, he was heading towards the Marine headquarters, the Marshal's office. Maybe you can tell Momoshiki about this. After a few minutes. Oh, you mean that Bullet went to Fishman Island, and the goal is probably to fight the four emperors by Z. Momoshiki frowned when he heard Tsunade's words, but at this moment it was the soldier who was just about to come in to report the situation. Hearing the news from the office, his eyes widened, and his mind was immediately shocked. Who am I? I just heard what I just heard there. Momoshiki Admiral said that the Bullet of the Hunter Guild went to Fishman Island, looking for the battle of the four emperors who rescued Lord Garp. It's a big deal. This is a big deal. Is there going to be civil unrest in the Hunter Guild? The soldier saw that Marshal Momoshiki was discussing matters with Tsunade Admiral, and the report could only be reported after a while, and immediately left the office door and walked quickly to the outside. If this matter is known to the outside world, it will definitely boil. Chapter 243 Bullet Killed _ Marine Headquarters, Marineford. The fact that Bullet went to Fishman Island quietly spread inside Marine. Have you heard? The Hunters Guild is against that. Bullet went to Fishman Island. Fishman Island, that guy is real or fake? What happened to the Hunter Guild? I don't know, but it's not like being taken to Fishman Island by Let. For T, it's probably for By Z. By Z, is that Bullet crazy? Who doesn't know that By Z rescued Mr. Garp in the Marine headquarters before, and confronted that mysterious man? Who killed the Revolutionary Army leader Long? Well, even knowing By Z's record, Bullet still went. It seems that he has full confidence in his own strength. Hey, there's a good show to watch now, a Bullet who has awakened the power of the devil fruit, and a 4 Emperor By Z who is strong enough to fight against the mysterious man. Who do you think will win? Not far from Fishman Island. Bullet came to the vicinity of Fishman Island by boat. He wanted to come to Fishman Island a long time ago. Originally, his idea was to defeat the 4 Emperors first, then destroy the Hunter Guild, and finally kill the Marine headquarters. Never thought. When he was in the Hunter Guild, he was suppressed by the vice president of the Hunter Guild. Bullet, who always admired the strong, was finally convinced by Eisen. Now he is also a member of the Hunter Guild. The challenge of the... Of course, the premise is that he will not kill the relevant personnel of the Hunter Guild, and this time he came to Fishman Island to find By Z, purely for the sake of learning. He had been warned by Eisen before that if he was dishonest, he would personally kill him. Although Bullet was conceited, he was not a fool. About half an hour later, Bullet entered Fishman Island, the prosperous scene of Fishman Island. Bullet thought that he had come to another world. Under the cover of observation hockey, they soon learned from the mouths of the local people on Fishman Island that the Yanwang pirates were also the headquarters of the 4 Emperors By Z. Mouth curled into an arc, and he raised his feet in one direction. At the same time, the Yanwang pirates' headquarters. Captain Ryokugyu, there is a suspicious person on Fishman Island, suspected of Bullet who joined the Hunters Guild a few days ago. As early as when Bullet entered Fishman Island, the secret eyeliner reported the news, and this is the scene. Suspected Bullet. Ryokugyu raised his eyes with a gleam of brilliance. Go and tell Captain Fujitora Isho about this, I'll meet that Bullet. I haven't met a strong opponent for a long time, and now Bullet's arrival is undoubtedly the first time Ryokugyu's target. Bullet. It is said that this guy killed the King Shichibukai Gecko Moria when he appeared, and then severely injured Yu Shanks. Even the Pluto Rayleigh and Whitebeard are not his opponents. Hee, such masters are rare. Ryokugyu's whole body started to boil with blood, his eyes were full of fighting intent, and with that posture, he wanted to fight that Bullet right away. When Ryokugyu was going to meet the Bullet, Fujitora Isho also learned the news, and stood up from his seat in a hurry. Notify, enter the first level preparation state, and evacuate the surrounding people. Yes, Captain Fujitora Isho. That subordinate, upon hearing Fujitora Isho's order, had a solemn expression on his face, then he lifted his foot and walked outside. Chapter 244 Shirahoshi's Decision. Fujitora Isho, give an order. The entire Yanwang Pirates headquarters began to be on full alert, and it was boiling up and down. Quick, hurry up and get into the position. What's the matter? There is such a big shock all of a sudden. You don't know yet, that the Bullet who killed King Shichibukai, severely damaged the 4 Emperor Shanks, and made a fuss about the Hunters Guild came to Fishman Island. What? Bullet has come to Fishman Island? That can't be right. Yeah, even if he comes, he is also a member of the Hunter Guild, so he won't do anything out of the ordinary. Who knows, then Bullet is a lunatic. The Yanwang Pirates headquarters immediately boiled over. Empress Hancock, Kuro Star and others all headed towards the Yanwang Pirates headquarters. Bai Zi was not at the headquarters at the moment. If that Bullet really went crazy, the consequences would be they are unimaginable. When Bullet came to the headquarters of the Yanwang Pirates, There was no one from Fishman Island around, and the guards were staring at Bullet, who suddenly came to their Fishman Island with vigilance. They had long known the order given by Captain Fujitora Isho, that killed the King Shichibukai Gecko Moria, severely damaged the 4 Emperor Shanks and the Bullet, who made a scene of the Hunter Guild, and came to their Fishman Island, and the destination was them. The Yanwang pirates. Such a great enemy, he couldn't help but be so nervous to deal with. The local people on the surrounding Fishman Island, they were also heated by the sudden nervousness of Yan. What happened over there? That person made Master Baizi and the others do this. I don't know, but there is one thing, it must be an extremely dangerous and terrifying existence. Ah, I see, it's the Devil's Heir, Bullet, who came to Fishman Island. What Bullet? It's that One Piece King of Pirates Roger's subordinate. It is said to be comparable to the existence of Rayleigh. Now he is much more powerful than Pluto Rayleigh. Haven't you read the newspaper? Bullet has awakened the devil fruit, and his strength has soared a lot. I heard that it was said that in front of the Hunter Guild that day, the Pluto Rayleigh, and the previous 4 Emperors Whitebeard shot at the same time, but failed to suppress it. I'm going, so strong, then he came to our Fishman Island, he won't come to find Captain Baizi. Who knows, but a war is inevitable. Many people were discussing it. It was on the top floor of the Dragon Palace. At this moment, Neptune, the king of the Dragon Palace, the sea god Neptune, the 3 princes and Princess Shirahoshi, looked at the direction of the Yanwang pirates' headquarters with worried expressions. Because they also knew that Baizi of the Yanwang pirates was not there at the moment, and a determined look flashed in Princess Shirahoshi's eyes. Don't worry, father, if Bullet really dares to mess around, I will definitely let him die here. The princess's face was full of solemnity. If Bullet really dared to mess around, she would kill Bullet even if she exposed the identity of Sea King Poseidon. Although she was not 100% sure even if she exposed her identity, Fishman Island was the only way. There is a lifeline. Maybe this is not what we thought, let's look at it first. Neptune, the god of the sea, frowned, and the people really exposed the identity of the Sea King Poseidon, which is definitely a very bad thing for them. Fishman Island, even if there is Baizi guarding Fishman Island, countless forces and Xiao Xiao will also desperately come to capture Bai Sheng. Chapter 245_Barrett vs Ryokugyu. Everywhere on Fishman Island, groups of local people have been discussing heatedly, and the realization all fell to the headquarters of the Yanwang pirates. The incident of Bullet's appearance on Fishman Island was like a plague, and instantly spread throughout Fishman. On Man Island, the expressions of countless people changed drastically. No wonder they are like this, the whole news is really shocking. That Bullet has been known to everyone during this period of time, but they haven't seen Bullet himself, and now they come to their Fishman Island. How can they keep calm? Oh, it's kind of interesting. Under the observation hockey, Barrett felt no less than a few powerful breaths from the headquarters in front of him, and there was an aura coming towards him like lightning. The next moment, the sound of cutting through the air exploded without warning. A fist the size of a casserole, covered with blue venom, punched Barrett in the face with a fierce punch. Barrett raised his hands and crossed his arms in front of him, and a punch that broke through the air slammed into Bullet's arms with a dull sound. Bullet stepped back 2 or 3 steps in succession, and in front of the Yanwang Sea Pirates headquarters, there is one more figure. This person is none other than Ryokugyu, the vice captain who heard the arrival of Bullet, who was very itchy. Impel down Magellan's poisonous fruit, you or Ryokugyu. Feeling the slight pain in his arms, Bullet sighed with emotion. This kid's spring power is definitely that of the Hunters Guild. Tsunade Admiral's level, a deputy captain is so powerful, he is looking forward to that. How strong is the 4 Emperor Baizi? This man is your grandfather and me. I have long been suffocated, look at the trick. Ryokugyu, who had been suffocating for these days, could not give up after trying to catch him. He stepped on the ground and turned into a prehistoric titan, and attacked Barrett. Ha ha ha, good time. Bar laughed loudly. Originally, He was still thinking that it would be inappropriate to do it directly, but now Ryokugyu's actions have undoubtedly relieved his worries. The next instant, the two of them collided with each other and broke a pillar a few meters behind them. Ryokugyu directly slammed the wall of the Yanwang pirates' headquarters into a big hole, making a rumbling sound. And here, Fujitora Isho led a group, just saw Ryokugyu's embarrassed figure. The next moment Ryokugyu turned over, ha ha ha, happy. Immediately after dodging, it turned into a black light and attacked, and once again stood in a ball with bullet. After a while, the two of them came to the square not far from the Yanwang pirates, surrounded by local residents of Fishman Island, staring straight at the square, where the square was already blocked by the two of them. The aftermath was ruined. Is this the bullet? It's amazing, and it's not at all inferior to Ryokugyu-sama head-on. Yeah, it's no wonder that the four emperors' shanks were hit hard. Neither the Pluto Rayleigh nor Whitebeard's rivals. I'm afraid Lord Ryokugyu. Now it's just Barrett's pure power competition, and no devil fruit is used at all. And it's not just an ordinary devil fruit. From Fishman Island around the high buildings stared at the field and complained, although they knew that Ryokugyu-sama was probably not an opponent, but they still looked at the field with anticipation, expecting that Ryokugyu would win. What an interesting opponent, but that's about it. Bullet's eyes flickered with excitement. Ryokugyu's strength at this moment was not weaker than he was before. Only by using the power of devil fruit can he kill this kid in seconds. Chapter 246 Fujitora Isho Shots _ It's over, boy. The bullet devil fruit was added, and the strength, speed and agility soared more than doubled in an instant, as if a punch through space was slamming towards Ryokugyu. Not good. A strong coercion and an extremely dangerous atmosphere. Ryokugyu knew that Bullet was about to move in earnest, and raised his hand Rokushiki, 6 styles Poison Dragon to greet him. Ryokugyu flew with vigor, and all the rubble within a radius of 10 meters between the two was strangled, turned into powder. Ryokugyu's complexion was pale, and he was obviously not strong enough. The realm of gravity. Cut. Right in this room, with Bullet as the center, it was like a taishan pressing the top. The soles of the feet were even half an inch into the ground, and a gravitational slash fell from the sky. Bullet didn't dare to be slighted, because he felt a strong danger from this slash, and the other fist was covered with rocks, facing the gravitational slash that fell from the sky. Spark of calcium carbide came in an instant. Fujitora Isho finally shot, and with a gravity slash, the bullet that was stalemate with Ryokugyu instantly turned into a bolt of lightning, and it stopped after sliding dozens of meters from the ground. A smear of blood spilled from the corner of Bullet's mouth. The blow just hit, directly caused Bullet to be slightly injured. There was an uproar at the scene, and everyone from the Yanwang pirates looked at Fujitora Isho in surprise. My god, Deputy Captain Fujitora Isho is already so good. Yeah, no wonder Vice Captain Ryokugyu didn't go to Vice Captain Fujitora Isho for a while. This strength is comparable to the 4 emperors. Ha ha ha, no wonder the captain said Fujitora Isho. Deputy Captain Ming, it's not a bad thing. The top floor of the palace. That's Fujitora Isho. Shili is actually strong. Although there are surprises, the ability to injure Bullet, who has turned on the awakened devil fruit state, is enough to explain everything. The king was really Neptune, and his eyes were fixed on Fujitora Isho in the field. The 3 princes of Shashing on the side were relieved when they saw Fujitora Isho's shot and the superb strength displayed. Awesome. Fujitora Isho's strength is quite powerful. With such strength, they are afraid that Fujitora Isho will not be able to take a single move. Cough cough. Bullet wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and looked at the opposite Fujitora Isho with a surprised look. Obviously, he didn't expect to press. Fujitora Isho's strength is similar to that of the 4 Emperor Shanks. What a surprise. Baizi's subordinate, Fujitora Isho, is already so powerful. I am afraid that among the 4 emperors, no one is the opponent of the Yanwang pirates. Bullet, who stood up from the ground, took a deep breath, and the devil fruit he activated repaired his injuries. If you are like this, then I will play with you. Evoked a perfect arc, laughed. The next moment, the dangerous aura around her body surged again and again, and the faces of Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu on the opposite side immediately became dignified. This kind of coercion. Not only the two of them, but many members of the Yanwang pirates behind them, as well as the countless people of Fishman Island around them, looked at the vision above the dark clouds above their heads, and their expressions changed greatly. This guy has hidden strength. Damn, that. How strong is the bullet, and the rise of the breath will actually affect the weather. This is troublesome. Although Fujitora Isho-sama's strength is not weak, can they really resist Bullet's attack? This kind of strength, I am afraid that only Lord Baizi can fight against him. But, Shirakawa-sama isn't on Fishman Island right now. The sky above Fishman Island Square was covered with dark clouds, and a battle to cover the sky quietly officially kicked off. Chapter 247 Luffy now _ Fishman Island, the headquarters of the Yanwang pirates. On the square. The dark clouds above the sky seem to be doomsday. Since the last time Bullet was defeated by Aizen, Bullet's strength has obviously increased a lot. At this point, I am afraid that only Bullet has an almost stubborn pursuit of strength. Humans can do it. Of the Yanwang pirates looked at the dark clouds behind Bullet, like a demon descending, with an unprecedented dignified expression. Such strength has completely exceeded their imagination. In this case, pick me up. The corners of Bullet's mouth curved into an arc, feeling the surging power surging in his body, which was much stronger than before he went to the Hunters Guild. A fierce rock fist turned into a black on, and instantly pressed towards Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu, and the speed was so fast that it arrived in the blink of an eye. The face of Bullet's powerful blow, Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu's expressions were solemn, and it was obvious that the attack had put a lot of pressure on them. Open black lens bracket Rokushiki, 6 styles Poison Dragon close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Gravity / close black lens bracket. 2 violent shouts came from the ears of Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu respectively, and the next 2 attacks pierced the air and collided with Bullet's fierce punch. Rumbling thunder-like explosions lingered in the ears. The surrounding people and the public tinnitus burst into waves. Their minds were blank. With the 2 as the center, the 2 of them were moving without wind, and were blown by the strong wind. The deep pit of Jong appeared from the feet of the 3 of them, and the cracks in the spider webs spread away. Ha 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 ha, a good attack, but just like that, it's not my opponent. Bullet's expression was deeply about Isho, and a surging power surged out of his body again, pouring all of them into the giant fist, and the expressions of Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu, who were originally deadlocked, changed. This guy's tyranny is beyond their imagination, and the 2 of them can't suppress it together. Open black lens bracket Rokushiki, 6 styles Ape King fist close black lens bracket. Just as Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu approached, a blast came from the sky. The next attack turned into lightning, and instantly collided with Bullet's giant fist. Loud bang. Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu took a few steps back, and the bullet on the opposite side was directly driven by an unparalleled momentum and slid back more than 10 meters. Only then did the retreat worthy of a stop, and rolled against the blood. It surged up, but he swallowed it abruptly. Flew, and the dust settled. In the field, before Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu, there was another figure. This person is none other than the other vice-captain of the Yanwang pirates, Luffy. Since Luffy learned that his father Long was killed by the mysterious man, the whole person fell into a sluggishness, until his grandfather Garp was rescued by Baizi from the marine headquarters and brought to Urin. His state was a little better, and under Garp's teaching next, Luffy also mastered Rokushiki, 6 styles, and this is the scene where his combat power has greatly increased. Lieutenant Luffy, that's Lieutenant Luffy. Since the Revolutionary Army leader Long, his father was killed, I haven't seen Deputy Captain Luffy, so he has become so powerful. This kind of strength seems to be more powerful than Fujitora and Ryokugyu's 2 co-captains. Hey, It seems that the death of the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long, has dealt a great blow to him. I hope he can get out of that incident as soon as possible. That mysterious man is so powerful that even Lord Baizi can only block him. Seeing Luffy appear, Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu looked at each other. Obviously they felt that the boy in front of them had changed a lot. He lost the cheerfulness he had before, but he was more calm and restrained, giving people a feeling that strangers should not enter. I am afraid that this is a state caused by the huge blow suffered after my father was killed. Luffy. Nami, Robin and Zoro and the others saw Luffy come out of the enclosure. Their eyes were full of excitement and joy. Luffy finally came out, which was great news for them. At the height of the Yanwang Pirates headquarters, Garp watched Luffy's changes, clenched his fists, and looked towards the Marine headquarters. Although he was not sure who the mysterious man was, he was largely from the Holy Land Mariajoy. And it is likely related to the Tianlong people. Because, the death of his own son Longshan is undoubtedly the most beneficial to Tenryubito. Chapter 248 Experts appear frequently, Susanoo almost. Luffy appeared. The scene, everyone, was in an uproar, because some of Luffy's father, Long, was powerfully killed by an unknown mysterious person some time ago. Never again, never appeared. He is considered to be the strongest existence in the world today. The hatred of killing his father, the hatred of the sky. Luffy, who was originally cheerful, has changed a little in his temperament at this moment. Obviously, this change is not what everyone wants. Good. Very good. As expected of the four emperors, Baizi, one of his subordinates, is more powerful than the other. It seems that today is going to be fun. Bullet's eyes flashed with Ling Ran's fighting intent, rubbing against each other, breaking through one limit after another. The top floor of the palace. It seems that the death of Long, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, is not an ordinary blow to Luffy. Poseidon, the god of the sea, locked his gaze on Luffy on the square. Luffy's cheerful and carefree appearance appeared in his mind before, and it was hard to imagine the two states appearing on the same person. Yeah, thanks to Lord Baizi who rescued Garp from Marine headquarters, otherwise Luffy's situation would have been even worse. Shashing also looked at the field solemnly. Although Luffy's strength had soared, Bullet was obviously not a vegetarian. Before, both Fujitora, Isho, and Ryokugyu were suppressed by him. Will Luffy be his opponent? Hope Luffy can win Bullet. Princess Shirahoshi folded her hands together and prayed silently. Look, but it's not that easy to win the Bullet. Poseidon Neptune analyzed the situation on the field, and said solemnly that the ground in the square cracked, turning into a blue liquid and rushing towards Bullet's right fist. As the center, it suddenly spreads to all directions in the next moment, and the invisible aura alone makes everyone gasp for breath. Ha ha ha, 3, pick me up. The huge black shadow giant fist pressed overhead, although it was huge, but its speed was exceedingly fast, and in the blink of an eye, it came to the sky above the heads of the three of Luffy. Fujitora Isho secretly said, not good. Open black lens bracket gravity barrier close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket gravity / close black lens bracket. Make a decisive move. Said both directly, and Luffy Ryokugyu on the other side didn't take it lightly. Open black lens bracket Rokushiki poison dragon fist close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Rokushiki ape king gun, close black lens bracket. Rumbling 3 attacks, piercing the void, and instantly collided with the bullet black shadow giant fist that pushed horizontally, with 4 people in the center. The hard square ground shattered inch by inch, and the three of Fujitora Isho looked at each other at the moment of contact. White, a mouthful of blushing blood appeared from the corner of his mouth. Not good. Everyone around was horrified, and right here, a voice rippling out. Open black lens bracket Rokushiki Susanoo God fist close black lens bracket. Just when the Fujitora Isho 3 was about to be unable to bear it, a blue-purple energy barrier enveloped the Fujitora Isho 3, and a giant fist no smaller than Bullet slammed it fiercely. The sudden change, even Bullet was shocked. That kid. Kakashi, that's Hatake Kakashi. Master Baizi's disciple, so he is so powerful. Yeah, Kakashi-sama is the last apprentice of Shirai-sama, but I didn't expect to be stronger than Sanji and Zoro. Genius, absolute genius, such strength is definitely comparable to which deputy captain. What a terrifying defensive ability, actually blocked the aftermath of Bullet's attack. Not only the people of the surrounding Fishman Island, but also the people of the Yanwang pirates were shocked by Kakashi's shot, and the strength shown from now on has obviously reached the level of Ryokugyu with Fujitora. He. It's really surprising. I didn't see Baizi on this trip, and I met so many masters. It's a worthwhile trip. Then let you see my peak strength now. Voice fell, Bullet's eyes were tightly closed, the already depressing aura soared a few points again, and Bullet opened his eyes suddenly, and Bullet's whole state changed. Strong. This is the first thought of Fujitora and Kakashi 4, but they can't retreat. Take it. Without the slightest fancy move, Bullet slammed up again with a punch, instantly hitting Kakashi's Susanoo with a punch from the air. Chapter 249 _ What are you? A mighty force. At an altitude of several thousand feet, it crashed down, and the surrounding air was squeezed and deformed, becoming extremely hot, and on the square, everyone around was as pale as snow. Fishman Island around the high buildings, their eyes are round. That Bullet is so powerful. This is frightening. Now that the three captains and Kakashi-sama are on board, they still can't take that. Bullet. Damn, how can this guy be so powerful? Is this the existence that killed King Shichibukai Gecko Moria, seriously injured the 4th Emperor Shanks, and even the Hades Rayleigh and Whitebeard could not stop him? It's terrifying. How can this guy's strength be so strong? The 4 adults are not opponents. I am afraid it's dangerous today. The Yanwang pirates, Sanji, Zoro, Kuro Star and others, are all looking at the field. They don't want to go forward, but they also understand that even if they fight him, they won't have much effect. Likely to be a burden. As for the top floor of the Dragon Palace, Neptune, the sea god, and his party raised their hearts in their throats, looking at that. The giant fist that destroyed everything above Susanin, Zhao Kaka and others, the feeling of despair and powerlessness filled the hole between the heart. Father, I want to summon. Sound. Princess Shirahoshi already had a peculiar wave rushing towards the sea with her as the center, but just as the wave just poured out of her body. Over Zalala Square, above the sky, the thunder of those words flickered, and in the next instant, a giant claw of the purple lightning dragon pierced the air, and instantly slammed into the giant fist smashed by Bullet in the air. Bullet. You are so bold. The top dark red Conqueror tyrant centered on the man in the sky, and the Conqueror Haki impacted instantly on top of the Bullet's rapidly soaring momentum. Under the giant claws of the purple lightning dragon, the mighty giant rock fist was instantly smashed into rock fragments by the purple lightning dragon's claws. Susu landed outside Kakashi Susanoo, and it seemed like a rain of rocks fell from the sky. Under the substantial charge of Conqueror Haki, Bullet's feet plowed out a deep pit of dozens of meters above the square, and once again looked at the opposite. The man who suddenly appeared in the air, Bullet's mouth twitched. This guy is so strong. Master Baizi. It's Master Baizi. People of Fishman Island on the countless buildings saw a man like a god of war surrounded by lightning in the air, and everyone's eyes were full of fanaticism and worship. Ha ha ha, Lord Baizi has arrived. This next Bullet is screwed, I bet. HMPH, just take a look, it's really like our Fishman Island can't be bullied. I bet that Bullet will be abused badly. That's right, Master Baizi is the one who saved the Garp hero from the mysterious man. A bullet is not a matter of minutes. I'm looking forward to it. I've already seen the scene where Bullet was brutally killed by Lord Baizi. Get started, I can't wait. Cough cough. The opposite side of the embarrassed Bullet, a pair of eyes stared at the figure in the air, and his face was no longer contemptuous. Baizi. It is worthy of being called the strongest existence of the four emperors. However, this is exactly what I want. Come on, let me see how strong you are. Crack. Before Bullet could finish speaking, a flash of lightning appeared directly in front of him in an instant, slapped Bullet's side face with a slap in the face, and in the next instant, the tyrannical Bullet turned into a shooting star, slammed fiercely and flew out more than 100 meters away. Even if Aizen doesn't dare to talk to me like that, what are you? Hung Baizi directly and powerfully shot and fanned the Bullet. Such a scene severely stimulated the nerves of everyone present. Chapter 250 Bullet was killed again. After one swipe, the powerful strength was revealed to the fullest. Originally, Bullet, which had been suppressed by all four of Fujito Reiso's 4 shots, was directly overturned by Baizi. Even everyone who knew Baizi's strength could not stop at this moment. Heart was shocked. How is it possible? Bullet, who struggled to get up again, was full of fear and disbelief in his eyes at the moment. This guy, who is also the 4th emperor, Baizi, is actually so much stronger than Shanks. If that's the case, let's fight. Bullet, who took a deep breath, once again had a strong and crazy fighting intent in his eyes, rubbing against the crowd around the square, his face dignified, his eyes staring at the field without blinking. Apparently, they knew that the real battle was next. A little. Bullet's body was filled with endless violent aura, and the surrounding air was strangled. It became nothingness, and an invisible energy swayed toward the 4 poles, and the earth and stones splashed, leaving ditch marks on the square. Figure flashed, and the next moment Bullet disappeared from the spot, reappeared and came to Baizi, while Baizi stepped back nearly 100 feet, dodging Bullet's blow. Before Bullet had any further reaction, Baizi had already made his move. Open black lens bracket, gravity barrier, close black lens bracket. An indifferent voice came from the direction of Baizi, and in the next instant, a bang centered on the Bullet, and a square with a radius of more than 100 meters made an overwhelmed bang. The entire sole of the foot was embedded in the hard square. However, this did not end under the attention of countless people around. Open black lens bracket, million dragons return to one close black lens bracket. Zalala Baizi's voice just fell, and in the next instant, the thunder and lightning group that exploded above the Bullet appeared thousands of feet in the sky. Roar. Then, the sound of dragon roaring came out, and at a certain moment, more than 10 giant claws of purple lightning dragon protruded from it. The unparalleled bombardment hit the Bullet locked by the gravity barrier. Rumbling. At the moment of the collision, the rock formed by Bullet's awakening devil fruit ability was instantly strangled. It turned into powder, and Bullet's eyes were bloodshot, staring at the boss. But as soon as it appeared, it was strangled by lightning. How impossible! Purple lightning thunder dragon passed. Bullet was directly electrocuted into a mummified corpse. He sighed and slumped with his head upright, his eyes full of fear. He greatly underestimated Baizi's strength. This guy's strength is definitely on the same level as Aizen, but how could this kid be? I spare your life this time, and next time, even Aizen can't save you. Glancing at the Bullet coldly, Baizi raised his foot and walked towards the headquarters of the Yanwang High Thief. After a while, I disappeared into the square, leaving behind a corpse-like Bullet and a crowd of people messed up in the wind. Sound of swallowing saliva sounded one after another in the field. Everyone's pupils shrank, scalp numb, staring at the Bullet who was killed in seconds in the field. The worship and passion for Baizi in the heart is like a surging river. Such is the flooding of the Yellow River out of control. Win-win. That, the extremely domineering Bullet, lost. My god, is Master Baizi's strength so strong? Already, with one move, Bullet was instantly killed with one move. This is too strong. Unbelievable, my gosh, this is unbelievable. Ha ha ha, we won, our wine is gone, that. Bullet lost, and Master Baizi killed it. Of Fishman Island on the countless buildings were very excited and excited. They thought they were in an abnormal crisis of extinction, but they didn't expect that with the appearance of Lord Baizi, they would be solved in a flash. Strong. Too strong. God of War. God of War. A sound rang out from the surrounding people of Fishman Island, and then the howling in unison sprinted over the square, swirling around and never stopped. Chapter 251 I knew that Baizi-sama would arrive ... Fishman Island Plaza is boiling. The joy of the aftermath of the catastrophe fills everyone's heart, and the excitement cannot be described in words. On the top floor of the Dragon Palace. This is a win. The sea cucumber Neptune's eyes widened, staring at the field in disbelief. Everything happened too fast. It took less than a minute from Baizi's appearance to the second defeat of Bullet. Is this the ability to save Garp from the mysterious man who killed the Revolutionary Army leader Long? It's so powerful. Yeah, scary, horrible. With the protection of Lord Baizawa, Fishman Island is destined to be extraordinary in the future. Of Shashing stared at the square with their eyes fixed on the square. At this moment, Bullet, who was breathing heavily, trembled in his heart and was filled with emotion. Thinking back to the first time I saw Baizi and the others, at that time, Baizi's subordinates directly killed Ryokugyu, and Mrs. Shali learned of the influence of Baizi and his party on Fishman Island. Z cooperated, and later Baizi repelled Momoshige, who was still Marine Admiral at the time, and even shot the current Four Emperors Blackbeard Teach into the seabed, killing him in one move. Charlotte Linlin of the Four Emperors chopped off an arm. Marine's headquarters, Marineford, fought against the mysterious man to save Garp, and now he has turned his hands to solve the terrifying Bullet scenes. At this moment, it seems like a movie in the minds of Neptune and the princes. Baizi is definitely their fish. The biggest nobleman in the history of Man Island. Then, Fishman Island boils. 1 past 10, 10 past 100, more and more people on Fishman Island know about this incident, and the rest of their lives are boiling and fighting fire. What? Lord Baizi arrived, and was killed by Lord Baizi. Okay, great, I knew Lord Baizi would arrive. As expected of Mr. Baizi, it's better than Bullet being knocked over. Hey, what more? Baizi said. If it weren't for Aizen's face, Bullet would probably be dead this time. Fuck, Mr. Baizi is so dick. Aizen, that's the vice president of the Hunter Guild, a powerful and terrifying existence. Somewhere in Fishman Island. What? That? Baizi killed Bullet directly. If it wasn't for Aizen's face, he would have killed him. The Marine headquarters was sent to monitor the detailed work of the Yanwang pirates. Hearing the news from the square, his heart was greatly shocked, his face was as pale as snow, and he became even more nervous. If he was discovered, he would definitely die. Lifeless. Few minutes later, Marine headquarters Marineford. In the office of Marshal Momoshige, Tsunade Admiral and Kuzan Kizaru were present at the moment, as well as Crane and other high-level executives, who were discussing the current situation in the New World, when the phone rang, and they were connected. Marshal Momoshige, something big has happened on Fishman Island. Soon as the phone was connected, a surprised voice came from the opposite side, and many high-level officials in the office seemed to have already appeared in the minds of the Marine's pale expression. What's the matter? Momoshige Vivi frowned, and the first reaction in his mind was the figure of Bullet. Marshal, just half an hour ago, Bullet came to Fishman Island and fought with the Yanwang pirates. For some reason, Bullet's strength has soared. Even if Shirazawa's subordinates, Fujitora Isho, Ryokugyu, and even Luffy and Kakashi came into play, they were all defeated. At the critical moment, Shirazawa suddenly appeared and used the power of thunder in the strongest Bullet state. Killing Barrett in seconds. If it wasn't for Aizen, I am afraid Bullet is already dead at this moment. The Marine swallowed her saliva with a grunt, in order to suppress her shocking heart. This incident had a great impact on him, and what he didn't know was that, after a speech was behind, Kuzan Kizaru and the others in the office immediately changed their expressions, and their eyelids jumped wildly. Sure enough, that Baizi the strength has far exceeded their imagination. Chapter 252 Mysterious man appears in all nations. Redford. The red-haired Shanks pirates, all Shanks cadres gathered around one after another, looking at a newspaper full of disbelief and horror in their eyes. This is Bizeran defeating Bullet. My god, Bize is already so powerful, that's Bullet, even the captain was seriously injured by him back then. Unconsciously, that Bize's strength has grown to such a level, it's terrifying. Yeah, no wonder Garp was saved from the mysterious man in the first place. How long has it been? When Bize came to our ship, it was like it happened yesterday. No, now Bize is probably the strongest among the 4 emperors. It is said that if it wasn't for Aizen's sake, the Hunters Guild, the Bullet would have been wiped out by Bize. Amidst the heated discussions among the many cadres on the ship, Shanks and Ben Beckman came to the bow. Feeling the sea breeze, Shanks took a deep breath, and looked towards Fishman Island. That kid, he has grown to the point where it's unbelievable at this level. Yeah, back when he was an intern, although he was very talented, who would have thought he would have today? Ben Beckman was smoking a cigarette, and his thoughts flew to when he first discovered Bize. At that time, Bize didn't even have the ability to protect himself, let alone become the 4th emperor, and besides the 4th emperor, Bize was also the current leader of the Revolutionary Army. I heard that Sabo, the 2nd leader of the Revolutionary Army, is preparing for the war with all his strength, and I am afraid that there will be a big move soon. Thinking of the recent news from his subordinates, Shanks searched for the cloak. I have a feeling that all this is likely to be caused by Bize and the new world may be in chaos. Yes, from leather. Judging from the preparations of the Ming army, their attack this time will definitely shake the whole world. Ben Beckman ponders the current situation. Kingdom, 4 Emperors Blackbeard's department. Since the dove occupied the magpie's nest and killed the 4 Emperors Charlotte Linlin, Teach has vigorously oppressed the people of all countries, to an even greater extent than Charlotte Linlin before. What did you say? Bullet defeated Fujitora Isho and was killed by Bize. Hearing the news from his subordinates, Teach suddenly stood up from his seat. A strong sense of crisis emerged from the bottom of his heart, and his face was unprecedentedly solemn. Previously, he had always regarded Aizen of the Hunter Guild as his greatest enemy, but now he didn't expect that. Bize also had the ability to kill Bullet in seconds, so the enemies he was about to face were 2 Aizen, and that. The mysterious person in the dark, I don't know if it's an enemy or a friend. A sound of breaking through the air, and in the next instant, without Blackbeard Teach noticing, a figure appeared not far from Blackbeard without warning. Who are you? Seeing the sudden appearance of a ghost-like man in a black cloak, Teach jumped up from his seat, his eyes filled with vigilance. A heart was immediately raised in his throat. This person is absolutely terrifying, and this guy came to him, and he didn't even notice it. If this person shot him, then Teach would not dare to show the consequences. Hee, haven't you been thinking about whether we are enemies or friends? You, the man in the cape, looked at Teach with a vigilant face not far away with laughter, as if seeing through his heart. Hearing this, Teach's eyes shrank suddenly, as if thinking of something. He looked at the man in the black cloak opposite again, his eyes full of horror and fear. Chapter 253 Defeat Blackbeard Teach in seconds. Man in black robe and cape. Being able to come quietly in front of him and avoid everyone in the pirate group. This hand alone is enough to show that the person in front of him is extremely extraordinary, and coupled with the unique and weird dress, a figure can't help it came to Blackbeard Teach's mind. The mysterious master who killed Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army. That's right. Apart from that guy in the whole new world, he really couldn't think of anyone else with the ability. Who are you and why are you here? Teach was frightened, completely frightened. The person in front of him could kill Long, the leader of the Revolutionary Army. That was definitely not something he could deal with. Hee, who am I? Haven't you already guessed? The sharp eyes under the cloak stared at Teach, as if penetrating his appearance and directly seeing his inner thoughts. As for why you came here, what do you think? If the four emperors by Z wanted to take action against you and Duo Fu Langming, you would be opponents. Man in the black cape was strange issue, and said something that made Teach's expression change greatly. What did you say? Then Bai Z wants to attack us, why should I trust you? Teach's eyes flickered, and he couldn't help but be afraid. Although he and Bai Z were the same four emperors, the difference between the two was not a star and a half. Since the top of the war, he has been suppressed by that Bai Z again and again, and he was almost killed by that guy more than once. Hell is good to see, little devils are hard to deal with. It is about people like Teach. It is very troublesome to offend this kind of people. Unless you kill him completely, there will be endless troubles waiting for you, although Bai Z has never Teach put his eyes on it. The sound of Kai passing through the space swayed, and the black cloak man disappeared in place at the horrified gaze of Blackbeard Teach. That's right, it really disappeared. It reappeared, and it has already arrived. Blackbeard is horrified. Was about to dodge in a hurry, but he found that his body's response was extremely slow, like a turtle crawling. It was a slender arm, like a dog that pinched a dog precisely, grabbed the neck of Teach Blackbeard, who had two devil fruits, and lifted it from the ground effortlessly, with a sharp arc at the corner of his mouth. Do you think you have the right to bargain? With a bang, the next moment, the right hand of the man in the black cloak that stuck Teach's neck, like lightning through space, slapped Teach's abdomen with his palm, and in the next instant, Teach with two devil fruits was slapped and flew out. Embarrassed. The embarrassed Teach stared at the black-cloaked man in front of him with a pair of horrified eyes. Strong. This guy, what kind of ability was that just now? It seems that he can only stop in place and let him slaughter. This man is too terrifying. Two ways, either die or believe me. In the black cloak glanced at Teach, the black beard, and didn't take it seriously. His only purpose was to get rid of all the serious problems that threatened the Mariajoy Tianlong people. The first one was that of the Yanwang pirates. From himself Eisen, the four emperors who saved Garp in his hands, is another vice-chairman of the Hunter Guild, Eisen. Of course, in addition to the two, there was the mysterious leader of the Hunters Guild who had never appeared before. As for the rest, to him, ants are nothing. The growth rate of these people far exceeded his expectations, making him feel a strong crisis. Even the previous One Piece King of Pirates Roger could not let him shoot because he was confident that Roger was strong. But definitely not his opponent, but judging from the current situation, whether the four emperors Bai Z or the vice president of the Hunter Guild Eisen, his strength has definitely surpassed the original Eisen. Will never allow such an existence to threaten him and the status of the dragon people alive. Chapter 254 Devil Fruit of Ho ho. My lord, I agree. Bullet's eyes were full of fear. At this moment, he knew too much about the horror of the black cloak man in front of him. It was completely beyond his knowledge, even though he now had a devil fruit. Didn't see the slightest pity in the eyes of the man in the black cloak, as if his Teach was an insignificant ant that could be crushed to death at any time. In front of him is definitely the strongest and most bizarre existence he has ever seen. Listening to Teach's trembling voice, was very satisfied. Everything is under his control, and he does not allow anyone to disrupt this balance. No one can do it, whoever destroys will die. This is his bottom line, and also the bottom line of the Tianlong people. As the ruler of the Tianlong people, the most honorable person in Mariajoy, even the Gorosei, 5 elders will kneel and worship him when they see him Li, the lord of the void throne. He, is the master of this world, and all the unstable factors, the factors that threaten his status, he will kill them desperately. Strong a person is, if he dies, everything will cease to exist. Bai Z of the four emperors is like this, Eisen of the Hunter Guild is like this, and so is that. The mysterious guild president is also like this. These people are going to die, and Bai Z of the four emperors, the captain of the Yanwang pirates, and the new leader of the revolutionary army is the first. Of course, he just started, that's right. The man in the black cloak gently loosened his neck, and the corners of his mouth curved. Obviously, this result was completely within his expectations, and he was also satisfied. Of course, if Blackbeard was unyielding, he wouldn't mind letting the world lose one ant. After all, after using these people, Im's original plan would have left them alive. In the new world, as for the 4 emperors, Shichibukai, etc., he will be removed together at that time. After regaining his breath, Teach's heart was relieved. After a circle, he almost lost his life in just one thought. At this moment, Teach no longer dared to have the slightest crooked thoughts. My lord, I don't know what ability you used just now. Teach thought of the scene where he subdued himself in an instant, and he was afraid for a while. If the person in front of him was an enemy, he was afraid that at this moment he had become a dead body that could no longer die. This guy is terrifying, far beyond imagination. If such an existence is an enemy, the end will definitely be miserable. The enemy of the enemy is a friend, and he and this adult in front of him have a common enemy. The 4 emperors by Z are 2 people. The first being that wants to be destroyed. If the time comes, this person and that by Z will lose both, and he will benefit from it. Just thinking about that scene will make one's blood boil. Want to know? Like a king looking down at an ant, Yimu raised an arc at the corner of his mouth. It's okay to tell you, the ability I have is Space Fruit and Time Fruit. What? Hearing the words of the man in the black cloak in front of him, Teach's eyes suddenly shrank. Space Fruit and Time Fruit. Doesn't it mean that this guy in front of him possesses the power of time and space that countless people dream of? There really is such a fruit in this world. If one day in the future, if he has such an ability, even if there are Baizi and Aizen, and even the president behind the Hunter Guild, he will not be afraid, and he Teach also will become the strongest existence in this world, and everything will crawl under his feet. Chapter 255 Undercurrents Surging, Blackbeard's Insidious Intentions. The power of time and space. Such a great temptation, even more tempting than Whitebeard's shock fruit. If he has this ability, plus the 2 abilities on his body, there will be no one in the world. No one is his opponent. Of course, Teach knew very well that his thoughts were well hidden by him. If the strong guy in front of him knew his thoughts, even if he was useful to him, he would not hesitate to erase him. Just imagine that on the side of the couch other people are allowed to sleep soundly. That's the truth. And in trying to seize the power of time and space, the most likely chance for success is that the guy in front of him and Baizi are both defeated. At that time, he will not only be able to kill Baizi, but also obtain the power of time and space of the evildoer. Teach's sinister nature with 1 stone kills 2 birds with 1 stone, which is vividly reflected here. Before joining the Whitebeard pirates to seek the dark fruit, this was also the case in the later attack on Whitebeard in the Top War, and then Baizi killed the Tianlong people. Momoshiki Admiral led the team to come, and the same was true in that battle, after which Baizi became famous. Cutting off the arm of the 4 emperors Charlotte Linlin, and killing Charlotte Linlin on the island to obtain the soul fruit is the same, and the scene here is the same now. Hey, your lord has the power of time and space, so Baizi is definitely not your opponent. Holding down his cold eyes, Teach smiled respectfully and flatteringly, just like when he joined Whitebeard insidiously to gain trust. Dogs can't change eating shit, villains have villains, ways of doing things. I have to say that Teach's ability to understand my heart is very thorough, even I am not aware of anything wrong at the moment. HMPH, do what you should do, that Baizi will have me at that time. If I find out that you are playing with me, the consequences. Click. Before Teach could react, you smashed the special table behind him and turned into flying ashes and scattered in the room. Teach was like a dead dog stuck in his neck, and a 1 was raised in his throat. He came back to his senses. Baizi had already disappeared in place, never appeared. Hi! What a terrifying ability. Teach looked behind him and turned into a branch, and swept back to the place where the man in the black cloak was an hour. Killing invisible. Even when he turned on observation hockey just now, he couldn't notice the slightest difference. Other words, observation hockey can't track the power of time and space that locked that guy. Thinking of the teach here, the strange thing in his eyes at this moment is indeed not the slightest fear, but instead is full of excitement to the extreme. Yes, it is excitement. To be precise, it is a twisted excitement, indescribably weird. HMPH, what about the strong ones? Charlotte Linlin at the time was also incomparable to her, and she didn't die in her own hands in the end. Teach stared deeply at the place where the mysterious man disappeared, and murmured coldly, I want to use me to contain by Z, so why don't I use you again? This and no one in the world dares to strangle me, you are the first. Teach's eyes flickered, and a cold light suddenly appeared. When he thought of the pity in the eyes of that guy just now, the hatred in Teach's heart was a slap in the face. All the forces, because Bullet was defeated by Z, fell into an unprecedented boil. Marine Headquarters, Kaido of the Beasts, Blackbeard Teach, 4 Emperor Shanks, Hunter Guild, etc. Bullet's Fishman Island provocation was undoubtedly a complete failure. Not only did he not get himself what he wanted, he almost risked his life, and indirectly made Z more famous on the other hand. The original Z just gave people a very strong feeling. Even if he rescued Garp in the hands of the mysterious man, at most he thought he was stronger than the 4 emperors, but who would have thought that? Bullet was in Z's hands. It is not a one-shot enemy, this is no longer something stronger than the 4 emperors can do. After this battle, all parties have a new understanding of Z's combat power, and this is also the most important reason why I am found Blackbeard Teach for safety. Chapter 256 Sending troops to Doflamingo. Teach looked gloomy and sneered in the direction where the man in the black cloak disappeared. Of course he knew that the guy was using him and made him a cannon fodder shield, but Teach was not using that guy. With that, the man in the black cloak, it would be better to be able to kill Z, but even if he couldn't kill them, both of them would be wounded at that time, and at the same time, give a thunderous blow, and at that time it would be all his Teach's. Shirazawa, Aizen, Hunter Guild, Marine, 4 Emperors and Mariajoy will all be trampled by me. Blackbeard Teach's face is twisted and terrifying. At the same time, the headquarters of the Revolutionary Army. Everything is ready, only the east wind is owed. It's time to liberate the kingdom of Dressrosa. A handsome young man, at this moment, his whole body exudes the invisible aura of a superior. This person is none other than the current second leader of the Revolutionary Army, Sabo, who is in charge of the overall situation. By the way, Ace, what did the leader say? Immediately, Sabo looked at Ace sitting on the sofa beside him, and asked aloud. Since he came to the Revolutionary Army headquarters last time, Ace hadn't left. He knew that the Revolutionary Army would take action against Redsloza sooner or later. Z also told him about this, and that's why he was made the second leader. A very important reason. After all, in the entire Revolutionary Army, no one except Sabo is the most suitable to take on this great responsibility in this situation. Sabo, before the prestige of the Revolutionary Army, was the highest person except for the dragon, and now he is the only one who can twist the entire Revolutionary Army into a single rope in the shortest time. The so-called leader has no interest at all, and also took this opportunity to throw the courage to Sabo. The captain said, let's do our best to deal with Doflamingo, and he'll take care of the rest. Ace spoke. The current situation in the New World could not help but emerge in his mind. The 4 emperors Kaido of the Beasts, Blackbeard Teach, and Shichibukai Doflamingo reached an alliance. There will be another fierce battle. It seems that Sleeve is about to make a complete move. Ace thought about Sabo as well. Hearing Ace's words, Sabo breathed a sigh of relief. If it was only Doflamingo and his cadres, he was quite sure. It was Kaido of the Beasts and the Blackbeard Teach family. Absolutely no chance of winning. It seems that the leader has planned everything. Since that is the case, then I will hold a meeting immediately, and the soldiers will refer to Dressrosa tomorrow. Sabozan took a breath, stood up from his seat, and looked at the scenery outside the Revolutionary Army headquarters. 10 minutes later. Revolutionary Army Headquarters, Emergency Meeting Room. What? Sabo leader, send troops to Dressrosa. It's Doflamingo's territory, and now Doflamingo and Kaido of the Beasts and Blackbeard teach are definitely going to do it, just for us. Don't worry, everyone, our mission this time is to liberate the kingdom of Dressrosa, kill Doflamingo, and leader Baizi will solve the rest. Sabo did not hide it, and directly told the truth to the cadres who were doing it. Sure enough, when Sabo said this, many cadres in the conference room were shocked. Leader Baizi, are the Yanwang pirates going to attack Kaido of the Beasts and Blackbeard teach? If Baizi leader can contain Kaido of the Beasts and Blackbeard teach, this time there is absolutely a 90% chance to liberate Dressrosa. That's right, leader Baizi has the strength to defeat even Bullet in seconds, so it's not a problem to contain Kaido of the Beasts and Blackbeard teach. If that's the case, when will we set off, leader of Sabo? After the heated discussion, a cadre of the Revolutionary Army asked aloud. As soon as these words came out, everyone in the conference room turned their attention to Sabo, waiting for his order. Everyone, go back and hurry up and prepare. 2 hours later, we will gather on the coast. The soldiers are very fast. We will take down the kingdom of Dressrosa in one fell swoop and kill Doflamingo. Chapter 257 _ It's going to be a big move. Yes, leader Sabo. Sabo gave an order, and more than a dozen cadres in the conference room listened to the order in unison. From Sabo's body, they seemed to see the figure of the leader dragon. Few minutes later, the headquarters of the Revolutionary Army was boiling, and the leader Long was killed. To be honest, it was a big blow to them. At this moment, they needed it most, but it was a victory. What the king of troops, Shichibukai's Dressrosa kingdom. This is going to be a big move. Did the leader of Sob take a shot at the Defran quota as soon as he came up? Hey, I heard that this is what the leader of Baizi means. Maybe the leader of Baizi will be there. Really, if that's the case then Doflamingo is doomed. This is not necessarily. Doflamingo is not a fool. How could he let us attack so easily? I am afraid that he has already discussed it with the 4 emperors Kaido of the Beasts and Blackbeard teach. If this is the case, wouldn't we have to deal with their 3 behemoths? How come? Our characters only have the right to deal with Doflamingo and his subordinates. As for Kaido of the Beasts and Blackbeard teach, it is up to the White Z leader to deal with them. Is this White Z leader going to fight Kaido of the Beasts and Blackbeard teach at the same time? My god. Revolutionary Army headquarters caused an uproar because of the sudden attack on Dofran, and this information was too shocking for them. Rectification and departure. Sabo personally led the team to command the entire army for the first time after the second leader. Standing on the deck, Sabo looked at the surrounding Revolutionary Army ships, and suddenly understood the mood of the leader of the day. Pressure and hope coexist. There is too much to the west. A little carelessness will push countless soldiers of the Revolutionary Army into the fire pit and be in a dilemma. Why? I am nervous. Watching Sabo blowing the sea breeze alone on the deck, Ace walked to Sabo, side by side with Sabo, feeling the sea breeze blowing. It's a lie to say that I'm not nervous. Now I finally understand the mood of the leader Long, and I also understand why he wakes up so early every day. As a leader, especially the leader of the Revolutionary Army, there are too many things to worry about. Usually when I was at the headquarters, it was better, but it was only after the real battle that I realized that if you want to eat a qualified leader, you have to think too much. This may be the reason why the captain is reluctant to be the leader of the Revolutionary Army. Although he has the title of leader, it is actually nothing more than that. Aston was surprised by Isho, and after getting along for a while, he also gained some understanding of Baizi, that don't ask for a big career, just chase your heart. Of the Revolutionary Army also attracted the attention of all parties, and the first to get this was the Doflamingo side. I didn't expect that the kid Sabo really came. It seems that a big battle is going to start in Dressrosa. When Doflamingo heard the news from his subordinates, a smirk appeared on the corner of his mouth. Now that he is here, let's go to war. He has been preparing for such a long time, isn't it, for this moment? By Z, I really thought I was afraid that you would fail. If Doflamingo didn't have a land before, but the news from Blackbeard Teach said that the mysterious man who killed the Revolutionary Army leader Long found him and wanted to cooperate with him to kill everyone in Baizi. Gia Gia Gia, let's fight, let's boil, let blood spill over every inch of the Drerosa kingdom. Chapter 258 that Baizi, naturally there is a mysterious person to deal with. Drerosa kingdom, inside the palace. Send the order down. Immediately, the whole country will enter a state of first-level security. No one is allowed to enter. Doflamingo curved a ferocious and profound arc, and said evilly, Breachers. Kill. Yes, your majesty. Messenger heard Doflamingo's words. He responded with a sonorous cry, took a step, and turned to the outside of the palace to prepare to convey Doflamingo's order. Young master, have confidence in this decision. Doflamingo's top cadre, Virgo, a man wearing a plaid coat and sunglasses, appeared in the palace and asked Doflamingo Vivi with a frown. Young. Virgo, why are you scared? Doflamingo laughed, then stood up from his seat, made fun of Virgo, then glanced in the direction of Teach, the Blackbeard of all countries, and then said, this time our opponents are only the Revolutionary Army, other things. Don't worry about it. Hearing Doflamingo's words, Gueju Virgo frowned. Don't worry, young master, you are sure that Kaido of the Beasts and Blackbeard Teach will be the opponents of the four emperors and his men. Not that Virgo doesn't believe in Kaido of the Beasts, it's just that the four emperors Baizi, in front of countless people on Fishman Island, suppressed the killing of the next King Chiwulia, and even severely injured the four emperors Shank, C and Bullet, who was making a fuss about the Hunters Guild, were able to defeat Bullet simply and neatly, knowing with their feet. The captain of the Yanwang pirates, and the leader of the Revolutionary Army headquarters Baizi's strength. As the Revolutionary Army leader Baizi. Then Baizi really thinks that I will succeed this time, really wishful thinking. Doflamingo's eyes were dark and cold. Obviously, he knew very well that with Sabo's strength, he would never dare, and it would be impossible to send troops to his Drerosa kingdom so openly. Couldn't help snorting coldly, don't worry this time, there has been news from Teach, that the mysterious man who killed the Revolutionary Army leader Long has already found him, and then Baizi, the mysterious man will naturally deal with him. Oh. That mysterious man has found Teach. When Virgo heard Doflamingo's words, his eyes lit up, and he couldn't help but think of the scene where the mysterious man appeared for the first time and killed the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long. That incident shocked the whole world. At that time, the Revolutionary Army was almost destroyed by the Rebel Alliance because of the death of the leader Long, and it was not until the critical moment of the four emperors Baizi's arrival that the Revolutionary Army was not destroyed. This time, Baizi wants to use our Red Rosa Kingdom as a bait to solve everyone in one fell swoop. I'm afraid this will be the burial place of his Baizir and everyone in the Revolutionary Army. Doflamingo was stunned. Isho, and Gueju on the side heard this, and I picked up a devilish swipe from the corner of my mouth, as if the image of the four emperors Baizi and the Revolutionary Army Sabo, who died in a tragic way, had already appeared in my mind. Okay, Virgo, prepare yourself too. This time, all the high-level officials of the Revolutionary Army, Sabo and others must be killed in the Drerosa Kingdom. A baptism of blood is about to begin, Fu Yi Yi Yi. Chapter 259 The Revolutionary Army is coming. Yes, my lord. I'll make arrangements right now. Ghost Bamboo Virgo was not very happy when he heard the words of his young master, Duo Fu Langming, because with this information, he was completely confident. That mysterious man is not an ordinary person, and can kill the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long, but based on this, it is enough to show that his strength is so terrifying that it is difficult for him to predict. Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, is a very terrifying existence. If not, Marine and the Tianlong people would not regard him as the most threatening and most dangerous person, that is, Shichibukai and the original 4 emperors did not dare to treat them easily. It can be said that the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long, is the Dinghai Shenzhen of the Revolutionary Army. As long as he is there, the Revolutionary Army will never fall. Even if there is such an existence, it will not survive in the hands of that mysterious man, and all fools know that this mysterious man is absolutely strong to an unattainable height. Revolution Army, 4 Emperors by Z. Ghost Bamboo Virgo's eyes flickered with sharp arcs, and it seemed that the Revolutionary Army and the 4 Emperors by Z died tragically at the hands of a mysterious person had already appeared in his mind. That scene must be very beautiful. At this moment, just thinking about Ghost Bamboo Virgo makes me excited and excited. No, under the orders of Guiju and many high-level officials of Doflamingo, the entire Rarosa kingdom immediately fell into a state of first-level preparation, waiting for the arrival of the Revolutionary Army. Kingdom, a border guard line somewhere. Hey, did you hear that? The Revolutionary Army is here. You said we would be the opponents of the Revolutionary Army. Nonsense, of course the Revolutionary Army will not be an opponent. You must know that His Majesty is the strongest among His Majesty Shichibukai. Yes, compared with our Majesty, the Empress and the like are trash. But I heard that this time the 4 Emperors. Z is back too. I've heard it too. I'm afraid that time will be another battle between us in Dreyrosa. Hey, what are you afraid of? Have you forgotten that your Majesty formed an alliance with the 4 Emperors Kaido of the Beasts and Blackbeard teach? Then the Revolutionary Army has 4 Emperor by Z, and we have 2 4 Emperors here. I guess our kingdom is going to bleed into a river. That 4th Emperor by Z is not an ordinary person. Before, even the bullet who awakened the fusion fruit was suppressed. Why do you think so much? We little soldiers, just do our own thing well. Marine Headquarters, Marineford. What do you guys think about this? Momoshige sat on the marshal's chair, and his eyes looked up at the many senior Marines in the office. In this matter, I think it's best to keep the troops. Regardless of whether the Revolutionary Army and the 4 Emperors by Z win, or Doflamingo and Kaido of the Beasts win, it will ultimately be beneficial to us. Suru Vice Admiral lowered his eyebrows in thought. Too many uncertain things have happened recently. It can be said that the new world at the moment is getting more and more chaotic. Yes, I agree with Suru Vice Admiral. I agree too. Hearing Suru Vice Admiral's words, Kuzan Kazaru nodded thoughtfully, and with the beginning of the 2 other high-level executives followed suit and supported Suru Vice Admiral's opinion one after another. Momoshige and Tsunade looked at each other, and both could see a look of joy in each other's eyes, and the result was exactly what they wanted. Listening to the opinions of all parties, Momoshige went with the flow. Well, order the Marine Headquarters and all Marines. No one may send troops without permission, and those who violate the law will be engaged in military law. Chapter 260 _ He has the trump card to defeat by Z. It is impossible. Redford, a pirate ship. This is true and false. 4 Emperor by Z. This is to take action against Doflamingo. The Revolutionary Army has already killed the Kingdom of Dreyrosa under the leadership of the new Sabo leader. There will be fakes when they're all in the newspapers, but this time it's a big deal. What's more, Doflamingo is an existence that is allied with the 4 Emperors Kaido of the Beasts and Blackbeard teach. If Baizi makes a move against Doflamingo, doesn't that mean Baizi has to deal with brother Doflamingo, Kaido of the Beasts and teach? My god, this is going crazy. I can't say that. Baizi's power is different now. Its 3 deputy captains Fujitora Isho, Ryokugyu and the Revolutionary Army leader Long's son Luffy, and even Baizi's apprentice Kakashi are not simple roles. Coupled with Baizi who killed Bullet in seconds, a few days later, I am afraid there will be a shocking battle in Doflamingo's homeland of Dreyrosa Kingdom. This heated discussion among the cadres, the 4 Emperor Shanks searched for the cloak and looked at the Dreyrosa Kingdom where Doflamingo was located. Many cadres were right. In a few days, there will be a game there. The incomparably tragic battle to cover the sky will kill a lot of people by then. Shanks, in this decisive battle, I'm afraid the situation is even more tragic than we thought. Of the Dressrosa kingdom, his eyes filled with worry, obviously thinking of something. Oh, how do you say that? Hearing Beckman's words, Shanks frowned and Vivi frowned. Ben Beckman didn't answer right away, but took a breath, and then said, although Brother Doflamingo acts exaggeratedly, he is actually extremely cautious, but now that he has learned about the army of the Revolutionary Army this time, he is uncharacteristically all over the country. Enter the first level. Ready for battle, it's so unlike him. You mean to say? Shanks thought about it, he seemed to realize something, and his expression became solemn, although he didn't know what medicine Doflamingo bought. Not bad. If Doflamingo is not a fool, then he has the confidence and trump card to defeat the Revolutionary Army and buy Z. Ben Beckman continued, obviously, Brother Doflamingo is not a fool, so he has the trump card to defeat Bai Z. It's impossible. Bullet was defeated by Bai Z. I am afraid that even if Kaido of the Beasts and Blackbeard teach shot at the same time, they may not be Bai Z's opponent. Hearing Ben Beckman's words, Shanks' face became more solemn. Although he couldn't believe it, he knew that Ben Beckman was right. Yes, no matter Doflamingo, Kaido of the Beasts, or Blackbeard teach are not Bai Z's opponents, and even if they are combined, they may not be able to defeat Bai Z, but don't forget, the strength of this world is terrifying. People, not only Bai Z, such as the Hunters Guild Aizen, but also the mysterious man who killed the Revolutionary Army leader Long. Ben Beckman analyzes the current situation. If only Doflamingo is alone, if he is killed, he will not have the courage to fight against the Revolutionary Army and the four emperors Bai Z alone, unless they have foreign aid. Hearing Ben Beckman's analysis, Shanks couldn't help but think of a figure, a mysterious man in a black cloak. You mean the trump card behind Doflamingo is the mysterious black cloak man who killed the Revolutionary Army dragon. Thinking of this, Shanks' eyes were full of surprise. Obviously this news had a great impact on him.